Hello, it is Juris here from Ideaport Riga. Last week we had terrific Siebel events in Sweden and Finland. It was a great opportunity to meet some of our customers, partners, colleagues from Oracle. I was there with a presentation about bringing generative AI into Siebel, and I decided to make a recap video so that everyone else who couldn't join this event could learn about the content. Okay, first I'll start with this chart from report of McKinsey & Company about the economic potential of generative AI. The point they are making is that there are tons of use cases we can utilize across different industries and line of businesses. And if you look at the top of this chart here, you can see such areas as customer operations, sales, and marketing, which effectively is CRM. And I believe that we, as Siebel professionals, as Siebel users, have a terrific opportunities to increase productivity of our end users, to get down operational efficiency, as well as increase customer satisfaction with generative AI. And if we look at the use cases, there are many, again, very small things we can do across CRM domain. First, and I think most popular use case now is allowing users to quickly find the answers on CRM system functionality, on business process product. Basically, whenever as a user I have a question or I'm stuck, I can ask the system and I'm getting back the answer, which is based on my company information, ideally with stations. Then we have, again, common scenario that we take CRM records and summarize it, highlighting critical information for a particular role. Again, by automatically classifying the type service request which is coming in, we can route it to particular queue or particular individual within our company. Crafting emails is another use case. Running a business rule against set of CRM records and then populating the notes or sending emails to people responsible for these misalignments is another one. This is like end-to-end processing of customer inquiry. We get email or chat into our system, and then we again identify what user intent is, how we can actually perform in the system what they want us to do, and then generate reply and summarize service request if we want to, of course always having a human in the loop. And of course, we can find similar records based on some information. We can improve the quality of our frequently asked questions, and translation is one of the easy things that generative AI is tackling pretty good. In this presentation, I'd like to focus on demonstrating things, and I will show 3 use cases, starting from very simple summarize and classify, then going to semantic search or question and answer service, and then I will show you how we can execute a more sophisticated flow to process incoming emails, all of course within Siebel. Okay, in this demo, I will play a role of customer service representative. At the moment, I have no incoming calls coming in, so I can take a look at inbound emails. So I have prepared a few emails I need to process. And here we have someone from our customer asking something in Finnish. What we can do is create service request. And again, to demonstrate the use case when we can categorize, identify sentiment, and do a little summary of the email, we have added this button called Demo AI. So now what's happening, the system looks at the text of the inbound email. Then it's identified the type, sentiment, so it's populated these 2 records, as well as these 2. So Javier is inquiring about availability of our TV series, The Crown, on our platform. Okay, again, in a very simple scenario, what we can do is we can add the button, we can call the backend of generative AI, it will do some language processing for us, and then we are done. Okay, now I don't really know if we do have available this TV series Crown Now platform or not. So I would need to find this answer in our knowledge base. And luckily, we have this AI panel built into our Siebel now, where I can ask it the question. So, for example, is the Crown series available in our platform? Okay, so I misspelled things, but I hope it will figure it out. Yes, and what it says, the Crown series will be available on our platform on June 1st. Since sometimes the thing is not really working perfectly, I want to double check it, and it brings me to the article, which is pretty fresh. And yes, it says that the Crown series will be available on our platform on June 1st. I can use this information to answer a question. I can ask some other questions about our products, about services, how to use Siebel. As we're focusing on the emails, let's move on. Another thing I would like to show to you is that we actually can do even better than that. And now we are moving into the area of automated processing of the emails. So maybe for that, I will quickly switch back to the PowerPoint, just explain you the flow I'm about to demonstrate. So there are 5 steps. So first one is going to be the analysis of incoming customer email, the text of it. In order to understand sentiment, again, do the categorization, summary, pretty much the same thing that we showed to you with this demo AI button. Then it moves to the step number 2, where the goal is to find out how can I handle this incoming customer request. Sometimes I need to search knowledge base, like we did in example with this Crown TV series. But oftentimes it's about calling a system API to either retrieve or update some data. So, and then system, our AI agent is able to determine what actually it needs to do. And then the third step is executing the action. We know what customer wants, we know how to process it. Again, the logic here is that for the simple inquiries where knowledge-based search is enough, or where we invoke read API, which doesn't modify anything, the agent can execute this action right away and then present results to the user. But if data update is required, then of course we want user to confirm the action first. Then once this action is executed, so we are preparing an email response to our client, again, based on what the person asked and what was the result of our action. And finally, if everything is fine and we were able to help our customer, we move to step 5, which is summarizing our interaction with the customer and closing SR so that we can move on to the next one. All right, back to Siebel. Now let's process this email in a bit more advanced way. So again, we're going to use the same AI panel embedded into our Siebel. Then we go to the tab, which is called Email Agent. And it will actually do this 5 steps that we have just discussed. The first thing it did, it's by Siebel ID, determining the type of the service request, sentiment, language. If I want to see like original language or translation, it's available to me in a very convenient way. Then as the next step, step number 2, where it was picking up the right tool to help with the customer inquiry. And it decided that it's going to use a knowledge base. And actually what it did, it reformulated customer email as a question. So is a TV series The Crown available now service? And then step number 3, it's automatically executed the action because it just searched for the knowledge base. So no involvement of CSR is needed in this case. Yes, and it found the answer, pretty much the same answers that we found manually in this Q&A tab. And then it have generated email for me so that I know what's going on and what is in there. It's in English, but I can change the tab into Finnish, and I'm getting the same text in Finnish language, which could be, of course, any other language in which customer originally reach out to us. So since we, in this example, we are using quite advanced model, GPT-4 Turbo, which is pretty good with languages, and then the result translation is pretty good as well. So the last step that remains for me is to send the email and close SR. So now the agent says that email is sent, and this is summary. So the customer inquired availability about service, and Martin replied that it's going to be available. And I can finish now, but let's double check if everything is fine. So it takes me to freshly created service request. So summary is here, the same summary description of service request is here. And if I want to see the outbound email, I drill down once again. And here is a text, right? So this is what we have received from Javier, and this is what we have replied to him. Okay, this is a demonstration of the same kind of general information email, but of course we can do even better. So let's go back to activities, search for more cases to work on. Okay, and what I want to do now is to take care of this email. It is from Maria Cooper. It asks me to do some stuff, and she communicates with us in Latvian. So you might know Latvian. I do know, so I can also try to check the quality of this whole thing. Okay, translation is good. So she tells us that she has like multiple agreements with our company, and she wants to extend it until next March. Yes, good translation. So now what system is doing, it is like determining what is actually the right tool to take care of this email. Since it's like transcription management, obviously general knowledge will not help us in this case. So we need to call some kind of API. And yeah, in this example, the system told that it retrieved customer agreements, and then your input is needed to update some of the fields. Okay, I will do it. No problem. So here I can select which records I want to update and stuff. Exactly. Okay, let's do it like this. And maybe this one as well. Not very handy since it's one data for several records. Maybe the form could be different, and actually it is possible. I'll show later, but now I will just confirm this action. So yes, I wanted the system to update the agreements. So what is going on behind the hood now is that we're making several calls to Siebel, again, to update these 3 agreements we have identified. It appears that our instance is a bit slow. And now the update is successfully done. And what we do next is that we are generating these emails. So basically told that, yes, I have updated the following contracts until this date. Good. And then what I can do is, let's see, some language check. Paldies, Sveika Marija. Okay. It's not like super perfect. So maybe I would change like this a little bit. But the rest is fine. So I move on in the same way. So again, summarize the emails, send out email, summarize service requests, and I'm done. All right, so we can go on, but I hope you get the idea. And now I'll explain you how this whole solution is working. So first, it is enabled by Magnet AI, something that we have started to work on at Ideaport Riga more than a year ago. First, playing with generative AI, what it can do, how we can do it, building some code, and then gradually turning it into more UI where you can configure a lot of stuff. And this is how it is now. And recently, we have decided that we are going to make Magnet AI available for free, and we also open source it. So first, we do it for a selected group of partners like Siebel Hub, but we are working on bringing in more customers. But of course, it is available for the end customers as well to take advantage of it, to install it, to play with this, and ideally implement it as well. So what kind of features it has? So effectively, we have a no-code admin UI where we are able to manage prompt templates, where we can embed knowledge bases, and also we do partial configuration of this AI panel I have showed to you in the Siebel demo. Then what it comes to integration with your CRM system, which effectively it can be other system than CRM, HCM, or ERP, or something custom built. The integration is done in two ways. So one is just using REST API, and this is what we leveraged with this demo AI button when we analyze the content of the email and then put like a type and summary to service request. But also you can bring this AI panel into your CRM UI, so UI level integration, if you will. So for now, we have support for Siebel CRM and Salesforce. And in our roadmap, we have right now ServiceNow and Fusion apps, either CRM, Fusion applications, or HCM applications. And finally, what it comes to the access to different knowledge bases, we use it in this Q&A tab in our panel, right? So currently we are able automatically bring the knowledge from SharePoint, Confluence Cloud, Salesforce, and right now. And in the future, we're also looking at ServiceNow knowledge bases and also Fusion knowledge management. Let me just quickly show to you how this solution is working. So basically, as I mentioned, we have these different blocks in this administrator UI. So first, let's go through prompts. This is a prompt we are using under demo AI button, and we expose this API. So this is like the prompt template body, right? So we're saying that you are AI agent working as CSR. The user will provide you with the three inputs. So basically, when we make a call to Magnet AI backend, we pass a text, and this text should contain three values. So one is content of inbound customer email, then a list of values for sentiment, list of values for request type. So of course we don't want to hard code it. So every CRM would have it differently, and maybe we change the LOV in CRM, so we wouldn't want to change the prompt here. And then we give the instructions. So your job is to analyze email, create a JSON file with 4 parameters, and it should be in English language. So summary, SR title, SR type, and sentiment. And let's say here within the tool, I can also test it a little bit. So I have something prepared for me. Again, this is like text, block of text as an input. It separates the inbound message that we're receiving, list of values, and other things. And let's test it. Okay, so it received me like in the JSON format file with the 4 parameters, summary, type, sentiment, and like a short title, which is quite handy. Let's say if we go and change the language here, let's say to German, and quick save, and I run it again. Yeah, so now the data we have received back, it's like in a full German language. Probably we need to change this prompt in a way that summary and SR title, they are in German, but sentiment and SR type, they're still in English, so that we use like language independent code in our API. But this is again using the regular language, no code, we can tweak it and it will get working. Okay, then piece is these collections, which again based for our knowledge. So if you noticed in the email, we're using this best TV. So what it says that it's coming from SharePoint, and this is a site for that. And within we have like several articles embedded, and basically all the answers we're asking are used against this. And if I want, for example, to create a new collection, so like a demo, is these two fields at this moment do not bring any value, but if you want to show it in Q&A, then I need to indicate it. And then for SharePoint, all I need to do is to indicate the URL, because actual access to particular folders is somewhere in the parameter file that we have enabled. But also instead of SharePoint, as I mentioned, could be Confluence right now and Salesforce. This is what we support now. So I save it. So this demo collection, and if I drill down into it, I see nothing here. And if I sync collection, so now it's gonna go to this SharePoint site, take all the files and all the pages and bring the content here. So now these are like 3 articles I have. And again, to test it, I have a little playground. If I select demo and ask the question, is TV series The Crown available now? It says, no, it's not available yet, but it will be available on our platform June 1st. Let's just see how the synchronization is working. And I don't know if I have a text somewhere to change it to. Yeah, okay. So this is like saying, hello, it's already available. So let's go ahead and update the text here. Let's click edit. Let's change this first. So now we have updated it in the SharePoint. And in order for us to bring this information to AI users, right? So we need to go here, click sync collection. We did it. And if I go and ask the same question now, it says, yes, the crown is available. So of course, in ideal scenario, there is like a bot job, which is synchronizing the content in original databases, knowledge bases with Magnet AI collections. But also it can be done on the fly when we know that we need to update this collection data right away. There is also the way how we can adjust the APIs that we use to process emails. So effectively, first we need to add specification of Siebel REST service, just again by extracting it from Siebel. And then we indicate how it is being used in different agents. We are redesigning it to make sure that also less technical people understand and all the labels are making sense. But effectively, you will be able to control what kind of methods of API we're using, how this form for getting the input from the user is being presented, what items we want to show on the UI as well. But this is still a work in progress, and we expect it to be done in the beginning of June. With that, I will return back to the presentation. So what we have shown to you is how we would implement this demo use cases. So first we had this demo button in Siebel, which invoked a specific prompt template at the REST service in Siebel. Then we did an example with searching for the answer in our knowledge base, which was like processed in a special way or technically speaking, embedded into our AI backend. So the panel itself is built using Vue.js at the front end. And the knowledge comes from a SharePoint site, and text embeddings are stored in one of Magnet AI collections. And finally, we demonstrated this more sophisticated end-to-end workflow, which takes incoming customer email, analyzes what needs to be done, picks right tool, calls this API or does a knowledge search, drafts outbound email reply, and then finally, if everything is fine, summarizes information and closes SR. Again, the Magnet AI panel is built using Vue.js. It's the same as we use for Q&A. Then the workflow steps are coded in Python. And we try to make it so that the usage of prompts, selection of APIs, and these Q&A blocks are configurable in admin UI. And as I explained just a minute ago, this is like very active work in progress. In terms of deployment options, so Magnet AI is available as a set of Azure services. So effectively, we would need Azure OpenAI subscription. We would need Cosmos DB, where we store our embeddings. Then we have a container application where the backend lives, and then Magnet AI UI. It's just like a storage where JavaScript files are stored. And so if you have Azure instance already at your company, you can follow pretty simple procedure how to first deploy all of these resources, how to get connected to your SharePoint sites. And then, of course, we're not accessing all of your SharePoints, but only selected sites and only in read-only mode. Finally, I would like to invite you to try Magnet AI. So here is a link to the landing page where main functionality is explained, and there is like pretty intensive, sometimes technical FAQ section. And you can reach out to me using this email, but also you can fill out the form at the Magnet AI site. Let's get things rolling with generative AI. So 2024 is a year of action when we can get some things into the production. And again, with Magnet AI, we try to make it as easy as possible. Thank you.